Okay, Tacitus, 14 of Book 1. But, but Galba, after the messages of the German sedition, although nothing yet did he have certain concerning Vitellius, he was anxious as to where or by what or the force of the armies would break out. Okay, so it's probably where the forces of the armies would break out. Nay, quidem, not even was he confusus. He wasn't relying on any, takes dative, I think. He was not even relying on the urban military or the soldiers in the city, or the group of soldiers in the city. Rebator comes from reor, to deponents. He was thinking that this unique or this one remedy would be if he transacted a imperial comitia, which is an assembly. So he would hold a assembly. Adhibito. Okay, the quiz and end. Super, I guess it's acting like in super. So additionally, Vinium and Laconum were applied or brought to. It's usually used for bringing to a table or something, usually say adhibito. So these people came along. We have Mario Celsus, the designated consul or consul-elect, was there, and Ducenius Geminus, the prefect of the city. So with these two people there, in addition you had Vinius and Laconum. He prefaced, or he started his assembly, his comitia, with a porca, which is a neuter plural, with a few words concerning his old age. He ordered to be summoned Paizo Licine, whoever the hell that is, either by his own choice or, as certain people believe, with the instant of Lacone, so with him insisting, to who, Apud means at the house of Rebellius Plautum, he had exercised a friendship or grown a friendship with Paizo. Said Callidae, but cunningly, he favoured or supported him as an unknown person. And the prosperous farmer, repute or fame concerning Paizo, added some trustworthiness to this plan of his, concilio. Okay, Daily Dictionary. Transigo, closest English thing is transact, but it's used for stabbing and finishing and accomplishing and completing and settling. Lewis Short probably have a few other definitions. Okay, Piso. He was Genitus. He was born from Scribonia and Marcus Crassus. He was noble, well born, on Utrumque, on both sides of the family. In his face and his bearing, he was of the old school of mores, of customs and learning or whatever. And with right estimation, or good thinking, he was a bit severe, or stern, as they say. To the worser type of interpreters, he was considered, hababator, a bit rather grim, tristior. Iapars. This part of his mores, or his habits or ability, quo with a comparative is ut, so made him so that he was a bit more suspected to those who were solicitous or anxious. This was pleasing or decided that he would be adopted by Galba, actually. And therefore Galba, at pressing the hand of Paizo, having grabbed his hand, in this way, in hunc modum, he is said to have lacudus, to have spoken. Here's what's spoken in quotes. If, as a private citizen, you and the accusative, by the law, curiata, so that's the Senate House law, among the pontifices, the priests, as is the mores, as is the custom. So here's the verb. If I should adopt, as a private citizen, I should adopt you by curial law amongst the pontiffs, which is there's a thing in the Lobe about that. This would be to me, gregarious. That's a good thing, something to be praised. Subols, the offspring of Pompey and Crassus, so he's a descendant. To add Schiscrae, to add these in the alliance into his penates, into his house. And for you, contrasting the for me, so here it's a a benefit to him, to Adam, and for you, insigne, another good type of word here. It would be a good decora, be good honour to be added to your nobility. This other family, Sulpiciae and Lutitia. Okay, so anything else needs to be spoken about? I think I'll read from the lobe. Where was it? To give validity to the adoption of a mature person, the approval of the curia and of the pontiffs were necessary. The curiate assembly had lost its political power in 286 BC, but it was still represented by 30 lictors assembled by the pontiffs. Galba, as Pontifex Maximus, dispensed with the usual form. Righto. Nunc me. Now me, by the consent of gods and man, to this imperial vocation, your Praeclara is very famous indoles. Indoles is a bit like mores. It's a bit more of an inborn nature. So your outstanding sort of nature and amor patria, which patriotism, love of country. This has impulated me. So he's got the approval of the gods as well. He's doing a bit more praising. So that the Principatum, concerning which our mayors, our ancestors, would contest with arms or fight with arms, which was adeptus, which was obtained in war, I shall offer to you. This looks like a participle. So this is being peaceful, or in peace times is offering, so we've contrasted the arms, the war, and now in peacetime looks like. By the example of the divine Augustus, who Marcellus, the son of his sister, and then his son-in-law Agrippa, and soon his nepots, his grandsons, and then finally Tiberius Nero, his provignum, his stepson, he placed for himself in this Proximo Fastigia. This is another high peak of office, basically it's saying, so he's next in line. And he's gone through Augustus's example there. Said, but Augustus, quasi-vidity, searched for a successor in his own home or family. I am looking in the Republic. Not because propinquos, these are relations, usually by marriages, etc. Not because I do not have these relatives or allies of war, but neither have I accepted this power by ambition or from ambition. And it should be a documentation or example of my judgment that not only my necessitudes, my connections and families and friends, which I've posited to you, I've placed, so he's saying I've placed my family connections behind you. Post shows it's behind, but also of yours. So he's looked past his own family and friends, he's looked past this guy's family and friends to select him as the Proximo Fastigo of power. Est tibi, there is to you a brother with equal nobility, equal family birth, obviously. He's major in birth, older in birth. His dignity is worthy for this fortune, except that you are potio, you're better for this. Your age, what have we got? Ates your age, in which you have fled already the desires of youth, and in this life, in which you have no excuses for the things that have passed by or for long ago, you might want to say. Ad hoc usually means still or so far. Tantum fortunum. Okay, so tulisti means you've bore. So far you have bore only, that's what the tantum here is, adverse fortune, things going against you. Favourable matters or circumstances, explore the souls with more sharper stimuli or goads or pricks, because you've basically tolerated a lot of misery. That's a very simple English thing over there. But by felicity, by good fortunes, we are corrupted. So basically it's just comparing bad fortune to good fortune and the conditions that arise from them. Fidem libertatem and amicitem. So Obviously, liberty is liberty and freedom. This is friendship. Fide has a few different types of uses, but that's usually being trustworthy, and sometimes it's meant for protection as well. Praequipia bona. So there's a special good of a human mind, which you will retain indeed, even the same constantia, so the same steadfastness and continence, you'll keep him. So he's putting a lot of trust in him, it looks like. But others will diminish this constantia through obsequium, which usually means just through flatteries and stuff like that. Inrumpet means something will burst in, literally. Adulations, again, this is similar to obsequiums. Adulations and blanditia, that's soothingness and flattering words. And this worst poison of the truth, infectus usually means feelings of or something like that. Sua utilities, people with their own utilities, their own desires, etc. These are the people who are going to be bursting into your life, it looks like. The self-interested people. Even if I and you, so simply, superlative, amongst ourselves, today, so we're speaking amongst ourselves very simply, Keterai, the rest of the people rather freely will be with our fortunes rather than with us. So, because of money and influence, etc., that's why these other people will be flattering them, I'm guessing. So just stay strong, basically. For to sway away a dative, for to persuade a princeps, the emperor, what ought to be done, what ought to be of much labour. Okay, so to persuade a prince is something that is of a lot of labour. But then to adsentia, to agree with whatever the principle says without feeling, without effectu, is how things are paracted or finished or done.